Well, first of all, uh, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. This is part of our creative accelerator. It's a Kreativni, which is a program that we do at Center for Creativity. And for this one's edition, the one in October, we joined with National Museum of Slovenia and the project that they're doing, SERDI. So we're hosting today Christina Forster. Christina, I'll let you talk more about your skills and work experience and everything. Christina will be talking about content marketing, responsible storytelling, impact communication, and this seems to be a very hot topic apart from Corona at the moment. So we're excited to hear more about that. Christina will talk you through all the rules of the game for this webinar. That's the first one in the series. We'll have another one on Tuesday next week at 2. So Christina, I'll let you take over, and then at around 3, maybe 10 past 3, we have a presentation from Hana Karim, a Slovenian designer and ceramic designer and maker. And Mojca will introduce her later. So, okay, wow, someone from Hamburg. That's nice. Okay, Christina, I'll let you take over.
Thank you very much, Urška, and hello, everyone. As a first step, of course, I will share my screen with you to tell you what we're gonna go through about content marketing today. So let me go full screen. So I hope everyone can see the screen. As Urška said, we're gonna talk about content marketing, pretty much more important than ever, in 2 parts. Today, I want to introduce you to the whole concept of content marketing and why it is so important and how it actually can help you, and also about ideas, how to brainstorm and how to do storytelling. Yeah, that's the short intro. Sorry, that was very fast. Technical problems always come up in this format, so sorry about that. A few words about me, why I'm actually here talking to you today. I'm originally from Austria, but I live since January this year, I live in Ljubljana. I started my career off as a journalist, so basically the most important thing to know about me, I come, when I talk about content marketing, I come from the creative side as well. I worked as a journalist, mainly for magazines, so it was all about creative writing, and that's more important than ever as well in content marketing. In my career, I've been around for quite a while. A lot of time, many years by now, I lived abroad as well. I lived almost 8 years in London, where I learned a lot about content marketing, a lot about brand awareness, and how to build up a brand online. Of course, social media as well. I've worked a very long time then in corporate with quite some bigger names as well, like Red Bull or Nivea. But eventually I decided that I want to use my skills I've learned about content marketing or in content marketing. I want to use them where they are most needed. So for me, it's more about collaborating than competition. I want to contribute where it does good and where it can help. And that's when I co-founded my own agency, which is called Heartbeats Innovation and Communication, where we have a very strong focus on creative sector, but also social sector. So we focus a lot on responsible business services. I'm not going to go into that so much because it's not the topic today, but also on responsible communication. And I will mention that to you as well, because in the times where we're facing a lot of global issues, it becomes more important than ever. Anyway, and with my own agency, we are based in Vienna, but also in Ljubljana now. We have a branch here, and that's why I'm very happy that this cooperation today with all the partners involved is happening. So that's me. That's why I'm here with you today. I try to talk you through now how this workshop actually will look like. So if you have questions, we're on Zoom. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Zoom by now, so please just drop them in our chat box and ask questions. But there's more we want to do as well online. We want to use Jamboard. Jamboard is a very simple tool from Google. We will share a link with you a little bit later on when we come to our first exercise where everyone can participate. You don't need to sign in. You don't need to do anything. Just click on the link and you can be part of it. More to come when we do the exercises later. Then we have, hopefully, also exercises. I will show you examples for every step on the way of content marketing with exercises, and you will then have access, and we will share the link with you where you can have all these exercise sheets and you can do it yourself. So they will look like that, number 3. And number 4, you have also the possibility to book individual consulting sessions with me on Fridays. So that's another opportunity and possibility. Good. That's what we're going to do in the next hour. I still having problems to change my slide, but I hope you bear with me, and sorry if it's a bit fast or hectic at times. Let's start. Hopefully. Yeah. Why is content marketing so important, and why is it a must-have in today's world? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's basically because of the world we live in. Yeah, I mean, this is a graphic. It's a bit of a cheesy one. I don't know if the numbers are actually set in stone, but it doesn't matter. It just shows what happens in 60 seconds and actually what you compete with when you try to do something online, if you try to sell a product or a service. So what you need to do is you need to stand out. Yeah, and that's becoming more and more difficult. I mean, if we look at the current situation as well with Corona, everyone is moving online. Even people that don't feel so comfortable have to move online now. And content marketing basically can help you to stand out in this incredibly mess of messages. Yeah, apparently we switch screens up to 21 times an hour. And we can receive up to 60,000 brand messages online and offline, at the moment more online obviously. So this is a huge number and a crazy number. But if you think of it, how much we scroll on our phones and how much we are actually on the laptop and so on, the number might be true. Yeah. So content marketing can help you, if it's correctly and rightly done and built up correctly, can help you to bring some kind of structure and to help you to bring the right content at the right time to the right people. And that's not very easy. Yeah. But if you do it step by step, you have a very big chance that you actually bring the right message to the right people you want. And as a result, content marketing helps you to get the attention of your customers or of anyone you want to have the attention from. So that's why content marketing is so important. As I said, it needs a structure and it has some must-haves in there, how you build it up. And that's what I'm going to talk you through now. It all starts with actually defining a goal. Yeah, goals are very important in content marketing, like they are everywhere. So content marketing shouldn't just be done for the purpose of having it. Yeah, to be present on Facebook or to be present on Instagram. It really actually should help you to achieve something, to achieve a goal. I'm going to show you that a goal should be as specific as possible and as well defined as possible. So I'm using SMART goals. There are many models out there, but SMART goals is pretty easy to actually define a goal. Yeah, every letter stands for something. So S stands for that the goal has to be specific. Yeah, what you do. M stands for measurable. You should be able to measure what you do. A, it should be achievable. So it should not be some crazy number, but really achievable. R stands for realistic. So don't be, it goes hand in hand with achievable. Be realistic about where you are and what you can do. And T stands for timely. Yeah, so that actually that you have a time frame where you achieve the goal. So you also can measure it. So what can be a good goal in content marketing? Basically everything you feel is good for you. Yeah, it can be a business goal. It can be how much products you want to sell in a certain amount of time, or how many newsletter registration you want to have. If you want to enter a new market, let's say Germany, yeah, so how much do you want to sell there, or how you want to grow your social media community. There is no rules. Every goal where your audience, where you need people, an external goal, is a good goal for you, and it should align with what you actually want to achieve as a brand if you already have a business. Yeah. So we start with an example, and we're saying, because I was told that a lot of you are ceramic students, but we'll also have a couple of artists here as well who will share later their own story. So as an example, we say we are a small gallery based in Ljubljana selling ceramic products from Slovenian artists. Yeah, and our goal for today, for this example, is that by December 21, that's the timeline, we want to sell 500 pieces of the collection, The New World, through our website, Etsy, Facebook to Slovenian customers. Yeah, this is, I made this up. Yeah, there's no facts in there. That's fictional, but this is what we're trying to work towards. Yeah, so we have a goal. Here you see you have a slide you can use for yourself. It will be in your workbooks if you want to give it a try yourself with content marketing. So very important, we need to understand what is our goal. You can, in content marketing, you also can have 2 goals, or maybe even 3 you can work towards. If you have a goal, you have to ask yourself, okay, who do I need to actually achieve that goal? So this is your target audience. Who do you need to talk to, yeah, online, but also offline maybe, that they help you to achieve the goals? Who do you want to read your posts, and who do you need who do we need for this example, that they buy these 500 products from our collection? In marketing terms, this is called target persona. Yeah, you see here a picture, it says time to get personal. It's very important in content marketing these days that you think about an ideal customer, in marketing terms, target persona. Who do you want to target? Yeah, so an ideal customer is the person you think is best for you to buy the product. And it's also the person we want to talk to buy your product. It's important to think about that. The times where you actually only target a market, they are long gone. It's all about being personal, because as we saw in the beginning, there's so many messages out there. So we need to find ideal target personas and ideal customers. That's not an easy task. It's actually one of the most difficult tasks in content marketing, and it very often, pretty much always, needs teamwork. Yeah, or a lot of people to brainstorm. So that's why I want to take this opportunity for the first time to brainstorm this together, and to invite you to actually think about what would be the ideal customer for our goal. So we will try this now with Jamboard, and Sana, maybe you can share the link now. As I said, Jamboard is an online tool, very easy, accessible with the link you will receive now in the chat box. Please open it with in a new tab, ideally. How it works, you can stick post-its or sticky notes online, every one of you. We will not see who posts what, so it's anonymous. Yeah, all you need to do is, where you see the red arrow, that's a sticky note. To open that, you can type in whatever you want, and then you press enter, and you can place it on the board, on the online board, wherever you want. Please join us there. think about who would be an ideal customer for our gallery and to sell ceramic products. There is no right or wrong. As you see a few examples, even if you say my mother or general terms, artists or students, everything is important at this point. And I would say we try to do that for 5 minutes, and please join us and stick as many notes as you can. So while we're doing the final ones, just so you know, the Jamboard where you put your sticky notes now will remain open. So even for the next week when we do part 2, we will have the same board open. You can review, you still can add, hopefully for your own brand, you can get some inspiration. I see a lot, that's really good, hotels, restaurant owners, bar owners, so a lot in that. Unique gift owners, Christmas gift buyers, companies, stylish mothers, very good. Tourists, next year, yeah, I agree. People that are buying gifts, new homeowners, very good, very good. I would say we slowly close this exercise. There will be more to come. And I will try to face my technical demons again by sharing your screen. So if you can come back with me to the screen, and we will do our best to actually continue with not too many technical obstacles in the way. So thanks for joining. I mean, you did a really good job there already. There are so many ideas, which is really important to do in the process. I want to continue now with all these ideas you have. It's really about to finding out, okay, who are the most important ones for our goal. So what you did very well in your collection is the rule number 1 for target personas. Everyone is not a target group or target persona anymore. Yeah, so you have to be really specific. A bar owner, for example, is a very good example. Yeah, and you did very well. So I would, as a next step, we would really try to understand, okay, who are the most important ones? And we would try to understand why are they in need of our products. Yeah, we would try to find out as much information as possible about them. That goes from behavior, hobbies, age, demographics, everything. Why? Because if we know who they are, yeah, if we know what worries them or how they can benefit from our products, we will understand what content they need from us in order to react to our content. Yeah, so this is very important as well. And I picked 2 examples now for you. And I came up with 2 target personas. To be honest, the ones you have, I think, are much better than mine, but I did them for as an example to answer questions, to get to know them a little bit better. And I will talk you through about that very quickly. So the first question you see on the left is about really who are they? Yeah, and I said, okay, I have one who is Luca. He's 31. He's a project manager, lives in Maribor with his family and 2 young kids. Yeah. The other one is Maya. She's a bit older, 54. She's a company owner, a mother of one adult daughter. She's divorced and lives in Ljubljana. Totally fictional. I came up with it. And now we should answer a few questions about them to get to know them. Question number 1 is, how does the persona benefit from your products, from our products? Yeah. So for Luca, I came up with, he wants to buy a gift and make his wife happy. He loves unique quality. Yeah, it feeds his love for unique quality products because he's a fan of it. And he also wants to support local artists. Yeah. For Maya, on the other side, she is a bit, let's say, maybe on the posh side, and she likes to show her unique taste. Yeah, she also wants to support local products, that's they have in common, and she loves to discover new artists or new entrepreneurs. Yeah, so you see they have something in common, but not everything. The next question we look is, how does the persona feel when she's in need, when she thinks about our products. Yeah, so Luca, I think, is curious and excited, but maybe a little bit under budget pressure. Yeah, because he has to kind of take care of the whole family, and maybe he has a loan on a house, I don't know, and he feels a little bit under pressure when it comes to budget. Yeah, when he's looking for something like us. Maya, on the other hand, she's tense and driven because she wants to show her unique taste. She wants something new, and she's curious. So she, for example, has no worries about money whatsoever, but she has another need that feeds her. That's this question. And then we look at what does the persona feel when she found us. Yeah, because communication never ends when you actually talk to a target persona. Well, if he finds us, you know, we have unique products, really cool stuff. Luca feels happy and proud that he found us. Yeah, maybe even still a bit worried about the money, but I didn't put that in this example. Maya, on the other side, is satisfied and relieved. Yeah, because it kind of feeds her drive to find these new things. And the last question I want to answer to is, where do we find the persona? Where do we find Luca and Maya online and offline? Well, Luca likes to be on Facebook and on Instagram, and he loves to go to fairs when they are happening. Yeah, that's where we know we can find Luca. Maya is on Facebook, but not really active. And what most of the time she's either on shopping platforms, goes to fairs as well, or she does just Google search. So this part is really, really important because we need to understand where we can talk to them, where we can actually start a conversation with them. Yeah, if we put everything on TikTok, just as an example now, and none of our target personas we have chosen is on TikTok, it's a loss of resources. That's where you already start to choose the right channels for you. Yeah, where you should put your resources in the channel. So really make this not only depending on trends, but really also on where you think the target personas of yours are happening. So we learned about the target personas. There's a slide for you. I, of course, have technical problems again. Bang. Anyways, we leave the target personas now and we try to continue with storytelling. So when you have a goal and you understand who is your target group and your target personas, yeah, it's really important that you then start to actually think about stories that really actually work for them. So storytelling is the most effective tool of content marketing for very good reasons. Yeah, we all need stories because we have so many content out there that we really need good stories that actually bring attention to us. But on the other hand, they also need to be obviously in the right formats for us. So that's what we're going to talk about now. What is storytelling? Maybe in the beginning, well, the easiest and fastest definition is that content informs and storytelling inspires. So for example, if I sell a dress, now a totally different example, someone wants to sell me a dress for, let's say, 200 euros. I will say, okay, that's really expensive. Why should I pay 200 euros? If someone shows me a video where I having the time of my life in Hawaii wearing a dress, I mean, I might not be the target person for that, but in general, and I see myself this holiday and having this good time, and then in the end, someone tells me this is 200 euros, might be a different story. I'm thinking about it, and that's storytelling. What's also important is not every story. Of course, storytelling is the part where you can be as creative as possible, but it's not only about creativity. Storytelling in content marketing really depends on your target personas. Yeah, if your target persona is not very creative, maybe for the time being, if you talk to this target persona, you shouldn't also be that creative, but more practical. So storytelling can also be, for example, a video of production, yeah, to show that. Storytelling can be if you say 5 reasons to buy our product on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, as soon as you have 5 where someone knows, you take them on a journey. Yeah, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, that's storytelling. Yeah. So everything that creates a picture for the audience is storytelling. We will look into that in much more detail with a couple of models of how to find the right story. But for now, I want to do a little bit more in theory. How do you find the right story? So basically, it's very important that you look at 3 parts. Yeah, your goal, which we already talked about, your target personas, which we already talked about, and hopefully by that point defined who are the important target personas for us, and of course your brand, who you are. Yeah, if a story or content you put on your website or on social media, wherever, if a story ticks these 3 boxes, yeah, or in that case circles, then it's a good story for you. Yeah, it's not always about the most creative one. It really has to help you to get where you want to get. And for that, you need to understand what are you working towards, who is your target persona, what do they need from you actually, and your brand. So we have it here. That's where you look for, where you should look for your stories. For me, it's easy to say. I've been doing that for quite a while. So there's a few tips for good stories that always work. Your personal story is always a good thing. Yeah, we need this personal touch out there. Yeah, again, there's so many brand messages that the personal approach works best most of the time, or always works one way or the other, especially in the creative center. So if you don't feel uncomfortable with it, please don't be shy to also tell your personal story. How did you get started? Where do you take your inspiration for designs, for new products from, and so on? Good stories are always around your USPs, yeah, unique selling proposition or unique selling points. That means, what do you have what others don't have? What is different to your competitors? Doesn't mean that you have to be competitive, but just to actually take a sheet of paper and write down 5 reasons why you, and you can put it in a nice format. That's also always good stories to tell to your audience. And then we have, how do you help your target personas is obviously a good story. So for example, the information we collected in the exercise before about the target personas, if you look at what they need, these are already good stories. Yeah. So for example, gifts for your wife. If that's really something you find out about your target personas, that's where you can find stories yourself. And then, of course, of your product, your business, especially in the ceramic industries, and I think industry, and we will hear about it later, that the products themselves are stories. So feel free to actually share these stories as well. Good. That's the most important thing to know about storytelling when it comes to the theory. Having said that, of course, storytelling is an immense creative process. Also, I would always recommend it to do it together with your team or with your community. And that's why I would like us to go back for a second time to the Jamboard. It's the same link. Just click on the top further to the next slide where you see what you can see on my screen now. So I would like us to collectively try to brainstorm stories or content ideas for these 2 target personas. again, please feel free to do that for your own brand as well. For this exercise, it would be great if we can do it for Luca and Maya. I put here their characteristics again, what is most important for them. And let's try to find stories, you know, and be, again, there's no right, no wrong. And be quite realistic about it. You know, if someone in Corona times needs information about delivery, then put it in there. Then it's important content as well. So I would love to do that collectively as well. Please go back and let's do it whilst I will try again to solve my technical problems, but also observe what you're gonna do. There's really good stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. Of course, it would need more explanation from the owner of the idea to discuss it. But if I may just pick a couple of them and explain why I think it's really good, the direction you're thinking, I think is really good. So first of all, you need the practical part as well. And I see that a lot, and it's really good. You have giveaways, you have free delivery. I see there, she will love it. Yes, sometimes that's really important to say. But then you also go in the direction how it's made, also very good. But for example, recipe cooking ideas I see here. And I think this is really, really good to think a little bit outside of the box. Yeah, we will talk about that next Tuesday again. A little bit storytelling, how to stand out and with the trends. I really like it when you go this extra step, when it's not only about your product. Yeah, if you know your target persona well and you feel that's a good idea, it's a really, really good idea. So I like the way of thinking there a lot. The personal story, of course, we said really, really important and good. Stories of how a piece was made, yes. I mean, it's amazing, you know, I guess you're the experts, but I guess every product is pretty much unique. So it's very interesting how it's made and very good and important. Storytelling, I see reviews, very important in this time. Again, I see prize game, yes. If you can do it, thank you card, the personalization of this whole, I think there's also personalized products. Very, very good. Thank you for contributing again. This is really good as well. And you see, if you do the collective effort, how fast it can fill up. So I would recommend you to do that as well with having your target persona in mind. Yeah, that's the trick. If you feel this is really right for this target persona, and hopefully this helps you as well, if you know more about your target personas, but this is how you can actually make sure that that you get the right stories and the right storytelling for your target personas, that it resonates with them and that they react to your content. Good. Having said that, I have to go back to the presentation and hopefully very little technical problem. Good. Here we are again. I want to talk a little bit about the art of storytelling. Yeah, and that's of course now the creative part. We defined a lot of ideas now, but how you tell these ideas, that's where you can be as creative as possible. So I really would recommend you for the brainstorming part to stick to this frame. What do we actually want to achieve? Who are your target personas and what messages do they need from us? What are good stories for them? How you tell these stories? You collect it, that the message, the format, this is where you can be as creative as you want. Yeah. Of course, art of storytelling or how you do it would go more into creative writing or video production. And of course, we don't have the time for that. So I just want to mention 3 things that are important. Define of how you actually get to your story and what do you need for that? Well, you see here is the spiral, which is actually from a Hollywood movie. So I'm not the biggest fan of Hollywood movies, but they know how to tell stories. That's the way. So of course, you don't need to have a Hollywood movie every time you do storytelling, but try to have a hero in your story, which can be your product. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a human being or whatever. It can be a product, but try to think of having a hero. Obviously, the storytelling should go more in the positive direction. So it should be kind of a victory feeling, yeah, a good feeling that aligns with your target persona. We have moral, which is in that connection with content marketing. It's the emotion. Yeah, so really try to understand how does it make you feel. We did that in the target persona definition. So really try of the emotion you want to create. Content marketing is mostly about emotion these days. So please try to have it in the back of your mind. And of course, the difference to any Hollywood movie, it should lead us to the goal, as I mentioned in the beginning. Yeah, so make sure how do you get to the goal when it's about selling a product from our range, which is our goal. Make sure that the story at the end leads to the products, leads to the opportunity to buy. That's what I mean by that. One more thing I want to mention as well, when it comes to how to build up a story, as I said, be as creative here as you can, but very important, have a very clear and easy to understand storyline. Yeah, content marketing is not the place to create a complex drama. Yeah, that should be kept for some French movie or whatever. But storytelling is really about easy to understand, not thinking too much. So please try to have a very easy to understand storyline. Easy would be a story in chapters. Yeah, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, for example. We had that 5 reasons why to buy a product. This is this kind of chapter. A countdown if you, for example, have an event, or if you have a sales, or if you have a new range coming, make an event out of it, because content towards an event, a countdown, is a very good storyline as well. And of course, interactive storylines where you include people. Yeah, but just try to think that it's straight. We don't have time when we're on the phone, on the bus, or wherever, you know, we don't have time to think a lot. So it should be as easy as possible. And then, of course, think about in what format you put your story. Yeah, is it a video? Is it a blog article? Is it only a social media? Also look at your target persona profile and think of what do they like. Yeah, if you have someone very busy, let's say Luca and Maya are very busy people, they are target personas, and if we write a 4 hours blog post, they will never read it because they don't have the time. Yeah, so please try to be very sensitive about what format you put it in. Then the channels. Choose the channels where you find them. Yeah, where you feel that they are really easiest to reach. And we said you should create an emotion. So this is more theory. Now I am
Christina, there's a question. What about storytelling for B2B?
Pretty much the frameworks I'm introducing today, they can be pretty much applied for B2B, but B2B obviously normally is much less creative, but I would recommend, or I do it as well with B2B, that I think about the target personas. But a target persona in B2B, for example, wouldn't be the business. Yeah, the kind of business. You have to be much more concrete and say, who do I want to talk in the business? Is it the CEO? Is it the head of human resources? Is it the head of purchase? Is it the head of sales? And I really would try to learn about the target persona as well. And then again, try to collect what information do they need. So they obviously need much more different information as our B2C target personas we are doing these exercises today with. So, for example, they probably don't need information about delivery, but maybe about how to do customized projects, maybe about price packages. Yeah, I don't know. I unfortunately don't have that much experience in your industry, but really try to use the same process, but take a lot of care and be very sensitive when it comes to the target persona profile. I hope this question, I could answer this question a little bit at this point. But of course, we answer questions afterwards as well. So if it's not clear, please feel free to maybe ask more about it. Good, I continue with the rest, if that's okay. We are already pretty much in the end. I wanna introduce to you two brainstorming methods for storytelling, because it is so important. So you see here one of these exercise slides again, and different categories. This is just one approach you can use to make sure that your story is really what you need, that it's the right story for you. So you see here, we look at the questions again. First of all is, okay, what's our overall goal? What are we working towards? We did that in the beginning. We know that we want to sell 500 pieces. Yeah, so easy, done. Then we have to think about, okay, for which target personas are we looking for stories now? I did here two examples again for Luca and Maya. I stick to Luca for now. So we have Luca, remember, the project manager, 31, has a wife, is a little bit under pressure with money. And then I think about, okay, what could I do? Yeah, what could I do for Luca? So one idea would be that I do a series of introducing local artists of the In the New World collection. I think we had it even in our brainstorming of stories. That would be a good storytelling idea. Another one could be a special gift selection, maybe for Mother's Day or for Christmas, when we know he wants to make his wife happy. So that we present it for him already as gift. And the other thing, we're trying to address him being a little bit under pressure, and maybe we said we want to drive our sales maybe through our website or online. So we say, okay, for a certain time, we can give you 15% discount, but only online. Yeah, I mean, in these times, online is very important anyway. But I can tell you from experience, if you want to move someone, if your target persona is not online and you want to move them to online, if they are not super, super wealthy, these online discounts, they simply work. Yeah, that's how we all function one way or the other, most of us. Good, and this is 3 ideas. So of course, ideally, this list is really, really long. And if you go to everything we brainstormed already, you see there's much more ideas already. You could use the sheet to just double check, for example, those ideas, you know, do they align with the target personas? Do they align with my overall goal? And do they reflect our brand and purpose, which is the next column? And there, yeah, this is actually, it might sound a bit complex, but it's actually a very simple one. I just want you to consciously think, is it us? Is it us who we are as a brand? Yeah, that can be reflected in your mission, that can be reflected in your brand values, but that can be reflected in just what you know anyways, because you are the brand, I guess. So in my example, I would say as a brand or as a gallery, we obviously feature the collection. We want to feature the collection in different forms, and we want to support local artists. So do these stories support this? Yes, and that's it. Yeah, so this is really not a very complex part, but believe me, I've seen many mistakes on that. That's why I added it in here. It's just important to understand, yes, we are on brand, this is us. Yeah, because this target persona approach I'm introducing so much in detail to you, it's a very important one, but equally important, of course, are you as a brand. So if we're sure, okay, it's also on brand, it reflects our purpose, then it's about thinking the short videos. sorry, for short videos, the formats. So here we have short videos for introducing local artists. I only gave one example. Why short videos? Well, Luca is a project manager, busy guy, doesn't have all the time in the world. So short videos is the best for him. And then the channels, we try to look, okay, we do YouTube because we do videos, why not? And then we try to go to the channels where he is. The same goes for Maya, yeah, same goal. We have her as a target persona for our same goal. She's our target persona, so ideas for her would be what we know of her, a making of production. We saw that in the content ideas as well, so we're aligned there, because we knew she likes a lot of showing off, and she's very interested in that. Same goes being showing off and knowing a lot about her unique products that we do, maybe a series, a photo series or whatever, of unique details of the product. Yeah, something that we can point out there. And maybe we're putting sets and packages together, because we know Maya doesn't care so much money, so she might be a really good target persona for us, and we can actually maybe address her for something with her unique taste that works together. These are, of course, only ideas from me, not knowing your industry so well as you do. So I'm sure, and what I've seen, you come up with much better ideas. This is really just for you to see how you connect your target persona's needs with stories they actually need to hear from you in order to understand you are the right one for them. The purpose is the same as for Luca. So again, no big deal there. And then we look at formats and the channels again. Well, I know, or we know, we said she's a lot on shopping platforms on Etsy. So let's go there, maybe put some sets together for Etsy. If that's makes sense in the real life, you know better than me, but here's an example. And channels, we know she's on Facebook, but she's not using it. So let's rather invest here a little bit in Google Ads and Etsy, yeah? If we would have, for example, if we would be at a fair, and we know both target personas love to come to fairs, we probably would print a brochure or something, yeah? That's something to hand out as well. So also to think offline a little bit. And this is one approach you can do it. You will have the worksheet again in the workbook, which you will have or already have the link for. And the last one for today is, I want to tell you 5 ways how to tell a story is this approach. So basically, if you have a good story or a good content message, you know that's important for your target personas. It's also important in content marketing that you repeat this message. Yeah, what we need in content marketing, or what we need as an audience in the online world, is consistency. Yeah, if you give me every week or every 2 weeks another message, you will lose me most likely. Yeah, I will not come back. So it has proven that in content marketing, consistency and repetitive messages work best and actually help the audience to build up a connection with your brand as well. So my second recommendation to you is to really look at important messages you want to tell to your target personas and write them down, and then simply think of 5 different ways how you can tell this message, and you will get a very nice mix probably of not only content but also formats. Yeah, so here's a couple of examples again. I want to show the uniqueness of the product, because that's something I figured out applies to both of my target personas. So how can I do that? Well, I can do a making of video for certain products. We had that, seems to be a good one in our case. Is one way to show the uniqueness if I do the making of. I can introduce with pictures or whatever format I choose, hidden details and the story behind the product. Yeah, they might love it because it shows the uniqueness of the product. Another approach would be a totally different one. Maybe we collect the number and facts of 21. So we go a little bit in the practical. You know, Luca is a project manager. He's for sure also dealing a lot with numbers and so on. So maybe just how many unique products and how many artists worked on unique products in the year of 21. Yeah, this way we also support the local artists and show how much they actually created. Goes back to the same, show uniqueness of products. Number 4 would be interview with artists. We had that as well. I think in our brainstorming, talking about the details and uniqueness so that you let the artist, him or herself, talk about the details and uniqueness. And the last one is to invite actually your customers to share pictures of their pieces at home, which goes a little bit in the review direction, but maybe a little bit personal. In that way, you can build up a personal connection from already existing customers to your brand, but you also show to others unique products and you show how happy they are and how proud they maybe are and so on. So that would be 5 ways of showing the uniqueness of products. Second example, the last one for today is we said they all want to support Slovenian artists. It's something that's close to their heart. So to show the local context. 5 ideas. Idea number 1, maybe a photo series of materials and colors used. Yeah, I don't know if there's something special, something to tell about it, but I could imagine. So obviously materials, or maybe not obviously, maybe this is not a good idea in my head. Maybe I was hoping materials would come from Slovenia as well. So everything local, how does it work? So we show the local context. Another one would be a home story of an artist. Yeah, maybe a short video of an artist showing the artist in the working environment, at home, whatever, and introducing their product. Short videos, we see the local context. Then maybe at one point we go a little bit again in this in the facts, figures and facts direction. Maybe we show a map of all production locations in Slovenia. I mean, with production locations, I mean where the artists actually work. Yeah. Again, you see the local context and you see also how much is spread. Then we have maybe media coverage in local and international media or fairs. So if there's any kind of media coverage, share it, be proud, because it also supports the local context. And last but not least, we have maybe a Slovenian piece of the week or the month we promote in the gallery, if that's an option. And that's actually a way how you can create the content mix. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, but very, very efficient. You have that also in your workbook. And with that, that's already the last one for today, because altogether we had an hour and I think we are approaching this hour. So maybe just shortly to sum up, very important today to understand why content marketing should support you to actually achieve a goal. So not just have it for the purpose of having it, really think of a goal, think of who brings you to that goal and try to learn from your target personas, talk to them, ask them, give them service, whatever, really try to understand. And based on these 2 things, then you can start the storytelling, to start collect content, yeah, ideally with a framework that you can actually create a good content mix. So this is a lot about basis and creative brainstorming. Next time it goes much more into implementation. Yeah, so we will look next time at visual identity. We will look at brand voice, online customer journey, website content, what content should go on your website, and a content plan. So a lot implementation things. We will also look in trends in storytelling. So we will touch on storytelling one more time. So how do you stand out and what trends you should have in mind? And that's it for next time. Don't forget, the Jamboard remains open till next week. If you feel like add something, there's also a slide for question or feedback or suggestion for next week. I will make sure I figure out my technical problems, so I don't have to annoy you with that. But if you have any other ideas, suggestions, questions, feel free to use the Jamboard as well. Same link, it will not change, it will still there. And there's also a LinkedIn group from the Center of Creativity, especially for these workshops, where we can continue the communication, where we can answer questions. The link is in the presentation as well, and I'm sure it will be shared as well. So come there as well, be active there as well. And with that, I say thank you and kick myself out.
Yeah, just a few words. So in the chat box, you have the link to the LinkedIn group again. I already emailed you, but just in case. And also there's going to be a link to the exercise book that Christina was mentioning. So with all the exercises that we did, and you can do them for yourself, for your own target personas. So we'll post that as well on the chat box. And now, Moitza, I don't know if you would like to say a few words, and then Hana will present her work.
Okay. Hi, Christina. Thank you for your presentation, despite the technical problems, but it was really good. I hope you all enjoyed the workshop. So the second part will be the presentation of Hana Karim. Hana, hi.
Hi.
Yes, so Hana Karim, we have choose her because of her work and because we try to find a good example of good practice. So Hana is a ceramist from Slovenia, and she has a studio in Ljubljana, and more about her she will present. Thank you, Hana.
Hi guys. So thanks to Center za Kreativnost for inviting me, and thank you to Christina for sharing very interesting information that I'm sure everybody can find useful. I will now share my story. I hope maybe you get some good ideas from it. I don't know. Also, this is the first time I'm using Zoom, so I'm I'm gonna need some guidance in how to share my screen, because I prepared a presentation on my own as well. So I guess this is just a share screen button, yeah? Okay. I'm sorry for this technicality. So as you guys probably heard, I create and I, oh, I'm sorry, something. Okay, I hope now it's fine. So I work and I live in Ljubljana. I am a ceramics designer. I have a studio in a very nice building. I'm going to talk about my studio a bit later. But first, I want to share a few information about my beginnings, about my background. So I grew up in an artistic family. My dad is a painter. My mom is, amongst many things, also a ceramics designer and a painter and an illustration. Here I am at the age of 4 in my dad's studio, watching him paint. This is his, work. He's a very distinctive colorist, and I kind of lifted the entire colorism from my dad, so I kind of stole his idea. My mom is an art teacher, actually not anymore. Now she's a full-time artist as well, and she makes wonderful ceramics, sculptures on the one side, and on the other, a lot of functional ceramics as well. So I grew up in this family where art and culture was almost like a daily conversation. And I was always under the impression, and I grew up with the notion that art and culture is something that has to be nourished throughout the whole life, and it's something that is very important for basically every human being on this planet. I used to think that everybody has a artistic studio in their homes. So when I was a little girl and my parents would take me to visit to other people, I would ask, where do you have studios? Because I was under the impression that everybody's got their own studios in their houses. And here I am working at my parents' studio. So that was a blessing for me to be able to, be surrounded with so much possibilities to create. However, I was really, really reluctant to enter the art world, maybe because I was, rebelling, and I wanted to be something else than what everybody was telling me that I will be because of my parents. So I wanted to be a radio speaker for quite some time. So this is a great opportunity for me to practice some of that radio speaking in this presentation. So yeah, I started with jewelry, and ceramic was my first medium that I encountered that was a bit more challenging that maybe, just painting and drawing, because it took a lot of technical skill and knowledge to first grasp on before you actually really knew what you were doing. And my mom bought the first kiln when I was around 12 years old, and since then I always tinkered with clay in their studio. So here I am sitting in a very, very messy part of my mom's studio that was dedicated to ceramics. However, ceramic jewelry has quickly became very exaggerated in size and therefore in weight as well. So I was struggling with this idea of making jewelry just as a decoration for maybe like for style or fashion. And I started developing an idea of how to translate jewelry into, let's say, miniature sculpture. This was also a topic for my master's theme. However, I kind of got into this period of my life where I felt like I told everything that I had to tell with jewelry design. And it was almost like an identity crisis for me for a while, because, maybe we don't speak about this a lot, but it's not really easy to, encounter a situation where you identified yourself with, that you were, let's say, a jewelry designer, and, you have to all of a sudden pick a new passion, and you are not used to being without a passion or creative expression. So this was very luckily a time as well in my life when I was moving out of my parents' house and first time moving into my own apartment. And most of the time I was watching my mom when she was working behind the potter's wheel, just as I was avoiding it in a very, very long way, because I kind of thought of pottery and functional ceramic as being very confining and like boring even. But then, I wanted to make my own cups because I had my own apartment finally. And this is where I started working on the potter's wheel. I said, okay, let's try how, I thought it was going to be really easy, but it took quite some time for me to, overcome those. I think most of ceramicists know what's the most difficult thing with the pottery at the beginning is centering. And I was struggling for quite some time with centering and spending hours and hours in the studio. So I was coming out of the studio messy, as you can see on the photo on the right. But, you know, I kind of made something, and these were my first pieces. They look like they were probably done by 10 or 15 people, as you can see on this photo. I was definitely trying everything. And I think this is something that, you know, I find now very important, that if you're, you know, trying out this beautiful and difficult medium as ceramics, that you try as many possible technical approaches that are in ceramics. And we know that there are like millions approaches that you can try. And also ceramics was always for me a medium that was offering actually all these beautiful challenges and beautiful surprises that you never completely know how something is going to turn out. And it was always like perpetually interesting. So this was actually my first Instagram photo that I published of plates. I only made these plates out of sheer, you know, I don't know, curiosity, let's call it. I don't know. I just posted them thinking, okay, let's see, you know, how this photo, if it even gets any reactions. And yeah, like I had friends asking me, where can I get these plates? I want to have these plates. And then friends of friends were asking me the same question. So this started developing seriously organically. I never thought this was going to go as far as, like, you know, having my own pottery studio someday. So yeah, this was also the very interesting time of social media. And let's say 10 years or 7 years ago, Facebook launched the possibility of pages. And all of a sudden, there was a lot of people in the industry of, let's say, not even industry, but small makers, brands, having possibility to showcase their work on social media and reaching clients all around the world, not only people, friends of friends, and so on. So this was also the time when a phrase Instagram friendly was coined. And all of a sudden, tabletops and how they look like became very important. And we probably all remember, and we can even see it nowadays, that, you know, people take photos when they go to restaurants and when they go to cafes. And also it almost became more important how the photo looks like than the experience on its own. So this was a very interesting time in the, you know, this space of making, because then people like me and people creating stuff that was maybe, you know, Instagram friendly, almost became, you know, a normative to have if you wanted to have a liked photo. So I dedicated a lot of time in that time to improving my skill. And I went to Denmark, where I found this potter that was giving workshops. And I spent a week there, 8 hours a day. I only was making pottery. And that was really a game changer for me, because I came back with nails like this, but also with a lot of new skills. And all of a sudden, I could start making forms that I couldn't before because of lack of skill. So first, I was probably making only vases for months and months, but then something didn't feel right. I wasn't really finding my true expression in the three-dimensional tall objects, and I returned to flat lace, and that kind of meant that I want to do things that are flatter and that are colorful. So I've taken some of the ideas from jewelry as well, and played with organic shapes and flat painting with shapes, basically what I call it. And I took a lot of colors from that sense as well. So I combined them, and luckily I found my home in that time, which is this studio that I was mentioning before. And here I think everything started becoming a bit different. It was a bit more serious. It had to become a bit more entrepreneurial, if I may use that expression, in a sense, because I wasn't only creating now for, let's say, friends of friends, but all of a sudden I got a lot of Instagram following. That basically meant that people were trying to place customized orders, and I had to rethink and actually also ask myself, what and where do I want this brand to go? So do I want to stay very like small quantity production, or am I able to even execute larger orders, such as like maybe 100 or 200 pieces at once for the same client? And also, this was also the time when I started teaching, and I got incredible, I'd say, just the people that started attending the workshops made all of this work that I was putting in my studio much more meaningful, because I started sharing these ideas with other people. And I started talking about the ideas with people such as my apprentices. I know that Ana Maria is with us here today. Hi, Ana Maria. This is the beautiful girl on the left, and Janja on the right. These were my first two apprentices, and I want to just say at this point that I find it very important from the beginning that we collaborate and we share the thoughts and ideas of how we see each other in this industry, if we call it industry. How do we see each other as artists, and the struggles that need to be overcome sometimes are easier to be overcome while talking to your fellow ceramicists, and getting ideas from them. So I learned as much from them as they might learn from me. So this was also very important breakthrough for me, because it was the first time I started noticing a switch in my creating that came from exploring all those technicalities and approaches that I was mentioning before. And this was the first time I sensed how, okay, this is actually the way that I want to go and that I want to create in. And I started using black clay. That became almost like the most significant piece of my creating, and using very vibrant colors in addition to it. And I also started collaborating with clients such as restaurants and shops, which meant bigger orders, which meant a lot of logistics and a lot of thinking ahead. So I had to become very I never thought I was going to use as many tables as I do now, in certain sense of like plans and dates and schedules. But my life, my work is really, really strongly connected to schedule. So if I want to execute a certain order, I have to plan long time ahead to be happy with my work, to keep it at the high quality level, and at the same time satisfy the client as well. I want to say here that it's very important to maintain a very personal relationship with clients. I still am trying really hard when I'm collaborating, whether I'm collaborating with private customers or businesses, that I keep it very personal. And we heard before in the lecture that the story behind is very important. And in this work, I think, first of all, people need to be informed that this is a slow production. No ceramic piece can be done overnight, we know that. So people have to be aware of how ceramics is made, how many hours have to be put in making a piece or a collection of it. And it's, you know, you would be surprised at how many people actually don't really know how ceramics is actually made, that you need a special oven. You know, I get a question that if they can use oven at home as well to make it. So in that sense, I think it's really important to, on one hand, inform, and on the other hand, actually help the industry with, you know, keeping this information flowing. And yeah, I wanted to maybe say a word or two about logistics. This was a long process, discovering which ways to send pieces that are so fragile as ceramics is, all around the world, to basically reach the client intact. And I have a wonderful help at the studio, Esma, who helped me discover many steps in, you know, what is the right way to, what's the right way to put pieces in boxes, and yet still maintain a certain level of aesthetics that you wish the client has, even though, you know, there's a lot of like cardboard and bubble wrap and wrapping paper. You know, the personal note is a very important thing that I tend to use when sending my items around. And also, you know, maybe just tell the world to, you know, how it's still important to maintain that, you know, happiness and joy that you maybe first felt when you start working with a medium such as ceramics, because it's really a wonderful way to, you know, the passion to dedicate your life to. And it can be a livelihood, it can be a business as well. It really takes a whole person, but it's also important to know when to say no, when you don't want to do certain projects. It's very hard to do that when you're at the beginning of your road, I know that, but I think the best advice that I have is to, you know, take some time off every now and then, take a step back, or two steps back, and take a good look of your work, and take inspiration from, not just from other ceramicists, but, you know, from other fields of art. Like I said, it's the best medium that can keep you forever interested. And yeah, I think the best feeling in the world for me is when I see photos like this. You know, when I get people that send me, that bought my work and are using it at home, and they send me their photos. Even like there was a lady in Australia who made a cake, as you can see on the top right side, and a girl made a collection of earrings, and you know, somebody used it on nail art. I know it's crazy. So this is, you know, when I see photos like this, I tell myself, okay, yeah, this is, you know, this is why it's worth, you know, spending all those hours at the studio. Okay, so I hope I told everything, and I guess if you have any questions, I'm available. Even if you are not going to ask me now, you can email me. And that's it. Thanks. Thank you for the invitation and for your for listening.
Thank you, Hana. That was really, really nice and inspiring. I think it was a great way to finish the more theoretical part. Yeah, like you said, if there's any more questions for you or for Christina, there's a LinkedIn group. I hope everyone is joining next week on Tuesday for the second part and for another presentation of Vera Stankovic. And yeah, thank you and have a nice day. See you next week. So bye.
Bye.